Hello and welcome back to the PowerDrift Podcast. We have been away from podcasts for a while, but now we are back. So for this episode, we have Emmanuel Jebaraj. You're fondly known as Jeba. How are you? Are you tired with all the traveling?
I'm honestly tired, but physically tired, but mentally very fresh.
Yeah. For people who are watching this for the first time, how will you introduce yourself to the world out there?
Okay. I started racing at the age of 19 in 1995 and raced until 2012. So a long career. In this long career, I managed to win 7 national championships in circuit racing and 3 in drag racing. I raced in Malaysia continuously for 7 years, winning many podiums, winning many races over there. A couple of Asian ARRC races also. And then now 2012 I stepped down and thought, okay, it's time for next generation.
Your sons are also involved into racing. I want you to highlight the kind of energy that goes into getting family into racing, both financially, physically, emotionally.
It's tough because when I was riding or when I was taking class, I used to say kids has to come in to start racing. And at 2012, when I decided to stop racing, my son was 6 years old, and he started riding. I was advising others put their own kids onto racing. I mean, if it will be bad if I don't do it for my kid.
Yeah, setting an example.
Exactly. So I will not say they were the best talent in India, but they were talented. So I thought, okay, keeping them here is not going to get to the dream of reaching the world championship. And that's the reason we moved to Spain. It was a struggle. It's emotionally very struggle, physically tough. But then we managed to hang on. This is the third year. 2 years has gone by, and both the years we managed to compete. And coming from India and to go there and to find the difference and to adapt to it, unlearn is a big thing. So unlearning and learning new things and to the European level is way high.
Very different.
Yeah, so way high, and they're next to the world championship level, and that's where he is today. Both my second son also will be starting his second year this year. He'll also be racing there in the FM Junior World Championship in the Talent Cup. So yes, we have set the example. Couple of them are already doing it. We are going to see one more Indian this time in FM Junior Championship. Very soon, not just MotoGP, you'll see some Indian in the MotoGP also.
People, or let's say parents, are a little hesitant to get their kids involved into racing.
It's very common with Indian parents that bikes means fast and reckless riding.
Yeah.
So, but then when they have an understanding that circuit racing is much more safer compared to road ride, I think people will understand. No denying the fact it is expensive, but then it's for own safety. And still, even today, cricket and other sports, but nothing is like cricket in India. So. Yeah. Parents also fall for cricket, so just like any kid and parents, so it is common. But then the barrier is also slightly broken. We see lots of kids today, even in international level. If I can pick names, Sarthak Chavan, Chirant, Rakshit, Kavan, all these kids are doing really well.
But I want to get to the basics. How do you actually enter motorsports?
It's so easy nowadays, not like before. One of the biggest platforms is like KTM.
Yes.
All you need to have is a KTM bike. You've been given a chance to come train and trials on the track. And then from no one, you become someone. KTM used to do Orange Days. That is one of the biggest platform KTM has ever laid for Indian motorsports. Now, if you have seen prior to 2015, you would have not seen many riders from other states.
Yeah.
It was most from Chennai or Coimbatore because that's because of the tracks which was available there. But then when they started doing Orange Days, they started going to other states. And from there I can say today's champions, most of them are from that group of KTM Orange Day riders.
Correct.
So motorsport was made easy or made much more affordable by KTM. Once you know that you're talented, you are good enough, I think we need to spend on our own, of getting our own suit, proper helmets, boots, all the stuff for personalizing, and that's going to be expensive. Your dedication and your consistency makes you a champion.
But I want to circle back to the KTM bit. How do you think the KTM Cup has sort of transformed motorsports in India?
Season 1 was a little different and it was new to everyone. In fact, nobody has tried this before. KTM was thankfully gutful enough to take the challenge, and we went to 8 cities and then the finals. We were right about 983 was the entries. We were very, very close to 1,000 entries. So that's something which none of them have done before in India. And for season 2, what the major difference, what we wanted to do is remove the professional riders.
Correct.
And give amateurs, the basic normal customer a chance, real chance for them to come and try it out their talent on the track.
Am I counted as a professional or an amateur?
So I think all the media guys are experts now. So
Even women.
Yeah.
Great to see women on the track.
We saw quite a few women. In women category this year we don't have pros and amateurs.
It's one category.
It's one category. Because we did not give them enough chance last year, so we thought there are a lot of women customers, KTM customers, we should give them a chance. This year, yes, we have a couple of known faces in women category, but then lots of unknown faces also. So that's good for the sport again.
I want to talk about a very sensitive topic next. There's this thing that's associated with KTM, which is sort of a squid culture. What's your take on that?
I have to agree. I feel that's the way about KTM. I think we should agree about it.
I feel KTM unlocked performance back when they came with the 390. They unlocked performance at a very accessible price. It's unfortunate that the internet behaves the way the internet does.
I agree. One way, yes, we agree with you. On the other hand, the 390 customers are different customers. I also run a showroom, so I also have a...
You run a KTM showroom?
Yes, I run a KTM showroom. So I also have an idea of what are the footfall for what kind of bikes and... So the most young kids or the young chaps come in for 200 and 250. Those days, 390, anybody will have it. Now it's like you see much more experienced guys on the road using a 390, and especially with adventures. Real bikers are the ones who are buying the adventures and Dukes 390.
Okay, since you've been involved with racing for so long, if there is a very young kid who's watching this podcast right now and is very intrigued with the idea of racing, how do you get into racing from scratch?
Okay, in India we have a lot of racing schools, basic academies. You need to enroll there, and you need to finish level 1 and level 2 to get a certification from the particular academy. And also with those certificates, you can apply for your FMSC license, but not until you are 15 now. So they have changed the age.
Okay, what was the age earlier?
It used to be 13. You can start racing when you are 13. But now you should be 15 at least. Even if you want to enter Moto3 today, you can't enter unless you're 18, which used to be 14 before. Academies will start training kids from the age of 6 and 7. But at the age of 15, you can race, but until then, you can be part of a track days, you can train, all those stuff, you can keep training.
Once the license comes in, what is, let's say, a ballpark figure in terms of gear investment?
It depends. Gears in India are available. So, for example, today we have few Indian manufacturers of suits. Yeah.
And good suits, not a problem.
Yeah. Good suits. Yeah, good suits. They will cost about 45 to 50k. Good boot will cost about 25 to 30, something like that. We are lucky to have a couple of FIM helmets in India also.
Yes. So KYT is one?
Yeah, KYT is one, NHK is one, Bilmola is one. If you get a proper race helmet, FIM helmet, it's about 50 to 60k. Okay. But then if you put all together, it's to start off with, it'll be between 1.5 to 2 for a 15-year-old boy.
What is that one ugly truth about racing that no one talks about? I can see a small smirk on your face.
There's a lot of lots to add. It's not one, I will say. One is, it is expensive, it is dangerous. But then every sport is like that. I don't see any sport which is not that expensive. It may look easy from other side of it, but then when you step in, you'll know how expensive it is.
But I want to talk about helmets. Now, India, I would like to say, unfortunately, has a restriction. The BIS, ISI, that whole, let's say, a story, for a lack of better words. The ISI mark is great, but there should be no ban on imported helmets. I want your take on it.
It's so sad. I don't know for what reason we are not able to understand the EC concepts of it. The standard of ISI, I will not say it's bad as such, but then maybe when they take it to EC or other standards, it may not be affordable for us. That's what for the number of riders we have on Indian road. But then government or the sports ministry should take an understanding of the sport and allow the FIM helmets to be brought in and used for sport as such.
Like go to any track day, you will see a lot of expensive helmets. It's unfortunate that we don't have that access now. But I've realized that if I am able to wear an RI and if a cop catches me and asks for an ISI mark, I don't mind paying the fine. I don't care because I know that helmet is going to keep me safe.
Yeah. Fine is fine, Varun, but the problem is in certain cases they break the helmet. In Bangalore.
No, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I think there should be an understanding.
Yes.
Okay, I want to move away from this topic a little bit and talk about something that has become very popular in India. It's the culture of motovlogging. What do you think of it?
It's good and bad. I think in many ways it's good because they're at least creating some visibility. In few ways or in some ways it's bad because it is more personalized and they deviate from the topic and it's more not authentic substance. Just to get more subscribers and followers, there are a lot of false information also spread. A professional vlogger or a knowledgeable vlogger will not wear a camera on his helmet or on a body. So basically, a lot of vloggers today who doesn't know what they're talking about, what they're doing. They're not professional enough to do. But there are few who are doing a good job, meaning they know what they're talking. They make sense. They make sense. Yeah. But a lot of others are just making noise.
Before I get hit or we get hit, we also put cameras on the helmets, but it's for a particular shoot or for a particular section which is properly manned so that there are no distractions and we can do our bit correctly, safely.
Yeah, when you guys do it on a safe environment or a closed environment for a particular purpose, it's perfectly fine. But there are a lot of vloggers with the camera on the helmet, 200 plus speed on a public road.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so it's not safe.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree.
And you are setting a bad example.
Yeah.
So
now let's get to fitness. There's fitness in motorsports and there is fitness in motorcycling. And I think fitness is the common denominator between these two things. Correct. You're 47. I feel motorcycling keeps you young.
True, motorcycling keeps you young, but then yes, see, this sport is not easy as many other sports. This is physically very, very demanding, and that's one of the reason you have to be disciplined enough to ensure that you do your fitness regime on a proper without any excuses. You have to race for 35 to 40 minutes without any lapse in concentration. That's really, really demanding. You know, we were doing couple of sessions couple of days back, and after that I felt really, really bad. I was not fit. I'm not working on my fitness anymore. I regretted very badly, and I decided also to start fitness again because at that moment I didn't feel anything. But after going back home, I said, no, this is not this is not me. I've never been like that.
And this is where I also want to circle back to the mental fitness, because road racing might look simple. You know, it's going from point A to point B to point A to point B to point A to point B, and you're doing that loop over 8 to 10 laps for, let's say, in India, MotoGP and all those levels are way higher. For you to have the capability, the mental capability to brake at the exact same point, every single lap, to take the exact same corner, to get on the throttle during the exact point is so important, because I've done a couple of media races and by the fourth race, my legs are cramping, my throat is parched, I'm losing concentration. I'm not a racer, I'm a motorcyclist first. So for me, when I get into that one-off racing bit for a media race, I realize that the amount of mental concentration is far greater, the required mental concentration is far greater than physical.
Very true. So mental fitness is one of the major thing, and it's, as you said, even if you're mentally fit, your body has to support you. In the last 2 laps you wanted to do, but your body is saying, no, I'm giving up.
Now you've been motorcycling for a very long time, you've been a part of Indian motorsports. I also feel this industry is slowly changing because a lot more genres of motorcycling are getting accepted. It was commuters, and then you got into the street fighters and the nakeds, and then you had executive commuters, and then you had sports bikes. But there's also the retro modern type of motorcycling. Have you been into that zone of motorcycling, or you've been away?
I keep myself away from all this thing. For me, it's about sports bikes, and I used to do long rides before. I have done lots of dirt racing, all those stuff. But then for some reason, I find circuit racing to be much more attractive to me, and I also have hunger that India could have done much more, which we have failed. in this 70 years of independence or 75 years of independence, we have failed to create one world-class rider. I will say that we never had any issues, just that the intention or the passion was not there. Last few years, we are seeing riders in Dakar.
Of course, we have seen superstars like Rajni. We have seen Sarath Kumar doing Moto3. We saw Rajiv Setu get to an Asian level, Jagan Kumar, KYM, so on and so forth. But like you said, the truly global level, hopefully that changes. We have seen Dakar happen, the off-road side of things, the rally side of things. But someone in circuit racing, I hope that happens very soon. I want to talk about some technical things about racing. I always feel that there are two things that really matter a lot. One is suspension and second are tires.
Very true. Suspension is something which is much more available nowadays. No, for some reason, suspension is something which you can buy and modify and use it. But tires, we still struggle. The reason being, in India, we have not had any racing tires as such, or in none of the Indian manufacturers have made a proper racing tire. Indian manufacturers. Correct. These tires will not flex into the corner; they will give off. So we cannot ride these tires like the European tires. That's a huge difference.
What's a good tire if you want to go racing?
I will not say this is a good tire as such, but then Pirelli is making a good tire for race tires. Dunlop has been doing it for.
But then again, we have this issue of BIS.
Yes, so that's what. So in India, we don't have this. That's the problem. So this is one of the reasons Indian motorsport, two-wheeler motorsport, has not gone to next level.
What are the, let's say, 3 to 5 misconceptions that one has about owning a big bike in India?
Today's generation, I don't think there is a misconception of owning a big bike, because I think people are knowledgeable who are investing on a big bike, know what they are doing, unless it's a rich father kid who wants to just put the money without knowing what it is. One or couple of misconceptions which the people are hesitating still buy a big bike is they may think it is too fast, not controllable, and again Indian mentality, no mileage.
I also feel service is one big space where people think twice, but I always think of it from a yearly perspective. So for example, I have a Z800. Yearly I will spend anywhere between 7 to 10,000 depending on the service that I have. If I'm spending 7 to 10,000 and if I divide it by 12, it is less than whatever, 1,000 rupees or this thing a month. If you are riding your motorcycle that much, then 1,000 rupees a month should be okay.
Yeah.
And last question, where does Jebba go from here? Where is Jebba traveling to?
No, back home now, and then tomorrow we have a award function in Bangalore. So I'll be running out. Next week I'm again back in Thailand. My younger son is racing in TTC, Thailand Talent Cup. So next week in Thailand, and then again to Delhi for season 2 Delhi version. It's going to be a long and tiring journey for me. Season in FM Junior GP is starting April 21st in Italy, Misano. So I'll have to be there for both my boys. It's going to be tiring, but then that's how it is. So when we decide to be successful, you need to go through this pain. So I don't mind it.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, on that note, thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure as always talking to you. Follow Jebba's journey on Instagram. You can follow Jebba's sons as well, Geoffrey and Johan. Awesome. And of course, follow PowerDrift on Instagram and wherever you can. Thank you once again. I hope you enjoyed watching this and hearing this podcast. I'm here with Emmanuel Jebaraj. If you have any more questions, please drop those questions in the comment section. And we will be back with some more guests, more stories, more podcasts. See you soon.
Thank you.